Right. All right. Okay. Hey, everybody that's looking on the stream here. Welcome to our March Conscious Check conversation. We are here today and we are ready to get real live about today's show topic. If you're looking online right now, please post and share. Everybody wave to the folks that's coming. Hey, y'all. All right. We see you. You one viewer. The one eye we see on the eye. All right.
That's okay. We
God bless you, one eye. All right. Listen, we are going to have a whole lot of fun around a pretty deep topic today. So we want to keep it definitely real, but keep it humorous and keep it that. So we thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going to continue. Hey, we on Two Eyes. Hey, y'all coming on in. Post and share, please, with your friends, with your cousins, with your nieces and your nephews. Go ahead and get this out there, and we're going to begin. Oh, and we got theme music playing. All right. Okay, so here we go. You can put this on if you want, or y'all can leave it on. Sing, Shaquille. Wake up. Hey, it is Wake Up Wednesday today. And if you're listening to my voice, you will know that I am not Pastor Greg James. I am Christine Henry, and you are tuned in to the check, the Conscious Check, our monthly program that we bring in and we take and break high-level economic development concepts to people-level understanding. And we are definitely glad to be here again. Shout out to Pastor Greg James and the crew behind the scenes, Doc D. And I want to bring in today my amazing, y'all know I always try to have a pastor in here because I don't know when I'm going to need prayer. So I want to bring in my amazing co-pilot for today. And she is no other than the Pastor Nikki Collins. Pastor Nikki, hello. Over at HD Church, Higher Dimension Church, Tallahassee. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you, Christine. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Well, listen, today's topic of conversation warrants somebody like you being in the room. Because, when you're going through something, you don't need just everybody in the room, okay? I remember that old song that said, "Come on in the room." You remember that song?
I remember
the old lady.
Well, look, I'll be that person today.
She ain't old now. She ain't old, but she can come in the room.
Hey, let me come in the room.
She's in the room. And listen, it's important to know who's in the room. So we're going to bring in our guest for the day real shortly. But, Pastor Nikki, this show is built on Proverbs 18:15 scripture. The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. And there is no time when you need wisdom than when you're in trouble.
That's it. That's the main time. We need it. We need to seek, okay? Some wisdom.
You need to seek wisdom. And the thing that, and so when we're functioning in business or in ministry, yes, those are high complexity industries, right? They're people businesses. They're enterprises and activities that warrant a great deal of understanding of the complexity of people, yes, or the complexity of service, or the complexity of process, right? Or you can find yourself in some real, yes, right? Yes. And so it's really important today as we have this conversation. I had a whole nother show. Oh, it was real sexy. Like I had all the people planned for this show. And because we are spiritual people, there was something that quickened in my spirit and said, no, this is what you need to talk about. Wow. Because it's Women's History Month and we hear all about these great achievements of women, right? But we don't never hear about the women that's in trouble.
Come on now.
We don't ever hear about the people that are rising from the ashes and are yet burning.
My God. Still smelling like smoke.
They still smell like the smoke. You're still on fire. You're still on the barbecue. greatness.
Right.
It doesn't diminish your purpose. It doesn't diminish your potential.
Yes.
But that burden is an everlasting burden.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you need to be able to understand that when you're in a series of chronic trouble, how do you break the cycle?
Wow.
Women in business, particularly, which I'm so glad we have some women in business, right?
Yes.
And that means we got some women that know a little bit about trouble.
Yes.
Because if you in business long enough, you're going to experience what? Trouble. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always learning how to get through it, how to acquire the wisdom that you need. Talk about a little bit, because your testimony is amazing. Amazing. Wow. All right, because you know something about trouble.
Oh yeah.
But you also know that the Lord overcomes in all.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, Christy, for me, a lot of people look at you now where you are. They'll look at the outside of a person and they have no idea the testimony, the walk that you've had to go through. For me, a lot of people say, "Oh, Pastor Nikki, Dr. Nikki, whatever they call it," with all these titles. But I see myself as Nikki. Baby, you don't understand the rocks that I had to crawl from under because of the rubble and the stuff that I have encountered in life. I have 2 children. My kids are grown. I have a 23-year-old and she'll be 28 this year, my daughter. And so I was young when I had my kids. I was just a baby myself, but now I'm a grandmother. I'm an empty nester, my husband and I, but I had to go through some things with my children in tow. So I had gained some things, being married and going through divorce and, being literally homeless, where I had to go back home with my mother, start all back over. And all of this was happening while I was in ministry as a young lady.
Yes. Wait a minute, wait. Mm-hmm. All of this was happening to you while you were in what?
Ministry. Yes. So I'm telling you, God truly, look, there's no way you can be who you are and how powerful you are on the way out. Well, when he brings you out without going through something, some type of struggle, you have some type of testimony. And, a lot of the decisions I made, I made some bad decisions. Now I look back and say, girl, what were you thinking? You should have went the other way, on site. So you think about those things and you grow and you learn. And so it's not that you'll never make another mistake, Christy,
right?
But it's that you'll be more conscious.
That's right.
You think about it. You go to God, because sometimes I go to God now and I'm still like, Lord, I haven't heard you. Tell me what to do, because I might be going left. I don't know right now. I don't trust myself at this point. Woo! We got to admit that. Learn to admit the moments when you don't trust yourself. That's why we need people around us to hold us accountable, someone that we can trust to talk to, someone that is going to really have your best interest, because we're still growing, we're still evolving, we're still learning. As women, we're creators. We carry life. And so that creativity is always brewing on the inside of us. But one thing about it is that once we learn from that mistake, we don't have to do that one again, and maybe another one, but we don't have to do that again. So my testimony has been, we don't even have enough time. It's a lifetime movie, literally. Yes. We don't even have enough time, but those are some of the things that, going through marriage, divorce, your kids, and, building ministry and losing everything, building business, losing it, and having to start over. But one thing about God, he says, if you suffer with him, you can reign with him. Hey. So I'm like, God, okay. I lost something. I didn't lose anything. I planted that. That ex-husband, that was a seed. I don't even look at it as a loss. The house, the car, the things, the stuff, the businesses, all of that was a seed. God, I thank you that you will bring it back, that you will bring it back better. Not those things, but something greater, something better, because you don't even want that there. You're just like, okay, God, I'm giving it over to you. But God turn into fit now.
No. You just said earlier that was a seed.
It is a seed.
It
was a seed, and you have to look at it like that, because if you don't, you'll become bitter.
Hey.
And so there's no way I was going to allow my past to rob me of my future by being a bitter woman. And so, no, I thank God for making me better.
Yes.
So whatever it is that somebody may be going through today, that's just today, but there's greater on the other side.
Hey.
There's greater on the other side.
Let me tell y'all something. Listen to me. Because, I mean, today is about a celebration of women in business, but it's about resilience and recovery. Because, baby, that's where the testimony is made. That's where it's made. And I just heard, as you kept talking, that Tamala Man song that says, this place, right?
Wow. Yeah.
I've never been in this place. Ooh, right? And so there's a place to be had. Yes. And so we're going to cut the break and we're going to bring our business guests on, because y'all, this going to be building on top of today, all right? God going to bless somebody this afternoon and help you to rebuild and be restored. We'll be back in a moment.
Yes.
That was
good.
What
you want
If you on the line right now, as Marvin Sapp says, or whoever was singing on Hezekiah's song, I don't know what you're going through, but I want you to know tonight you got favor. All right, and listen, we're gonna take this on in today. Who we got on the screen here? We got a couple of minutes. Oh, see, now he playing the song, y'all. What kind of questions we got on the screen? Hey, y'all on the audience. None, just people saying hey.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We are going to go in a little bit. We got like a whole little question list, but we might duck dive. You know,
God already shifted.
God already shifted.
You see, I had to close the door. All right, well.
And I think that as y'all are looking on the screen, and y'all 10 people, God bless you, y'all are bad 10.
Yeah.
Y'all, as y'all are looking, we had a whole different show lineup for today. And the Lord shifted this whole show within the last 48 hours. And these folks that came on, God appointed and ordained to be here. So I just want y'all to know that there is favor here. There is restoration here. There is, if you have questions, if you are going through something in your business, don't post it there, inbox us. Don't tell everybody your business.
Right.
But let us know. That's what we're handling today. All right. Hey, welcome back. Okay. So stay tuned, share, post this with your friends. We're talking about business, resilience, and recovery. And I'm going to introduce my special guest in a minute, y'all. And y'all going to see why this is going to be a dynamic conversation. We also want to announce that there is a couple of events coming up. On next Friday, there's a luncheon coming up. Okay. All right. We are back. I'm so glad for Doc D, y'all. He keep all our life in order around here. If you have tuned in, this is the Greg James Community Show, and I am not Greg James, but we give God praise for Pastor Greg James and the platform that he has here. I am joined today by the awesome Pastor Nikki. I'm calling her Pastor Nikki. I might call her something else. She might elevate the title sometime. All right. I'm gonna elevate without propagating. All right. We're gonna be real here, all right? Listen, we are talking resilience and recovery today. And because we know this is a radio station that exalts and that gives praise to God, we know that God loves his people.
Yes.
And we are so excited to have here, along with Pastor Nikki and I, two businesswomen that understand recovery and resilience. One is in the real estate business. She need all the prayers. Y'all just, Lord, stretch your hands to her. Everybody, audience, stretch your hand. Both of us really, but hold on. All right. This is Ms. Robin Yant. She is a real estate investor. She's a real estate guru. She also is the founder of the Brave Faith Academy, where she teaches other women, entrepreneurs and investors to get into real estate and to learn the business. Say hey to everybody, Miss Robin.
Hey.
All right. Listen, I'm laughing at Robin, looking at her phone saying, I'm waiting for people who say they want to invest in real estate. We got some deals. Where y'all at, right? So she is good at calling folk out, all right? So we look forward. But I love the moniker of Brave Faith Academy, because it does take a lot of bravery to go out and to venture out on your own to seek return from this market. So definitely glad to have you today. And of course, Inc. 500, one of the fastest growing companies in the nation. Its CEO and president, Elite Business Strategies, Princess Ashley, is with us today. Again, she just happened to be in town. Because she don't be in town.
What?
She don't be in town. She don't be here. All right?
This was God.
This was
God.
See, and you have to be obedient,
this
right?
was God.
And I am so glad to have Miss Princess here. Say hello to the people, Miss Princess.
Hey, friends. Hey, friends.
Listen, and friends, let's stay there, right? Because we heard Pastor Nikki talk a little bit about her testimony earlier, which is dynamic, and we need to petition Lifetime for her movie script being written. But you have to have friends. When you are going through stages of trouble, when you are needing a base to land on in situation, you need people, which is kind of countercultural to what we're taught and popular, right? You got to look from within. Everything you need is inside you. Yes, your purpose is inside you.
But God gave us people. Come on now, for fellowship.
Come on now.
That koinonia, that's the give and the take. That's where we can sit down and break bread. There's safety in the multitude of counsel. So we need safe people that we can talk to.
And you better say that safe people. And so I'm going to give Miss Princess and Robin a chance to just kind of talk, some about who they are and why they believe this is a necessary conversation. So go ahead and just kind of tell us your why in business.
Okay, we're both polite. We're pointing to each other. So I guess I'll go first. One, I want to say thank you so much for having me. This is truly just the part that we have started has been a blessing to me already. So I'm gonna hold my mule and keep it going. But it's interesting because I built a whole business off of resiliency and recovery. Specifically for our community, because I realized that was the area when impact happens, we struggle.
Yes.
We struggle to recover, and sometimes we lack what it takes to be resilient in the front end. And so it makes it harder for us long term. But that was my why.
Wow.
The title is my why. I started out very early in my career realizing in the field of emergency management that so many people were hurting when impact happened. And so many people that looked like me didn't have a voice or a seat at the table in front of the people that were making decisions. And I wanted to change that. And I remember sitting in my office one day looking out and seeing all the traffic and the people walking downtown and sitting there saying, God, I know you will take care of me here.
Yes.
But I know that there's so much more for me out there.
Yes.
And if you give me permission to go, I'll go. And shortly after, he started downloading the strategy, the steps. That's the reason why my company's name is Elite Business Strategies, because God literally gave me the strategy to walk out and what I was supposed to do and when I was supposed to do it and how I was supposed to do it to make sure that I was in order. And it's because of that I believe that God has blessed and been able to breathe and expand the business, expand our territory as a company. And it's because we stay true to the why. We stay true to what our definition of success is. I started very early when you were talking about having, I call it my vision, my village, right? So as strong women, as business owners, it's important to have that village, right? That you will listen to and who can pull your coattail and who can say, all right, now, I know you used to tell everybody else what to do, but I need you to listen because this is what God is saying for you right now. Because we can't always hear it and see it. And so I call it my village. I have a village of 3, that inner circle that I go to and I seek counsel from, and that will really, I would say, direct me and tell me when I need to pause and think things through a little bit longer. I may not always move in a different direction. That's not what it means, but it allows me that time to hear, okay, the voice of God and where you may be taking me, and being okay that I may have to shift courses. And so it's because of that I'm here. That's my why. That's how Listen, when people ask what's the secret sauce, that's it.
Yeah.
It's the obedience. It's being okay to kneel and cry out and listen and then follow the instructions, although they may not make sense, knowing that it's in the process that he'll give me the revelation that I need.
You preaching, girl.
Honey,
Preaching.
She said two things that I want to make sure we don't miss. She said that resilience is based upon a series of action, and that without those actions being present, recovery is difficult.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Robin, yes, ma'am. You can take this right on. I know you can take this and pass the potato right on next. Go. Hello.
First of all, thank you for having me.
Yes.
And I'm honored to be in the presence of both of you women. I've never met you personally, but it's an honor. So I feel like a little loan shark in the room because I didn't have that village. And so when you're talking about women in business, I literally bootstrapped my way from the ground up.
Wow.
And so not having women around me or women that I trusted, I didn't have those safe people.
Right.
So I thought. So I always felt like an outsider. So what I did was I literally, I struggled all the way, still struggling because I am just learning now. And as I talk to more women, what I understand is sometimes you feel intimidated or you feel less than, or you feel, that's not your circle of people.
Right.
And sometimes women will make you feel that way too.
Right.
Let's be real about that.
Be real.
And so, when you're in those moments, I have two words. One of them came from my sister. So I'm going to steal this, sister, if you're watching. So one thing you have to have is resiliency in the valley, right? So when you're in the valley, you still have to know whether you're there alone, whether you're there with people, like you still have to walk through that thing, right?
Yes.
And so that's where I am now. I'm just walking through the valley because even though he said we're walking through the valley, like we ain't gonna stay there, but we still gotta walk through.
That's right.
Absolutely. And so I want to just talk a little bit about Brave Faith. And I like what you said about your why. So my why has always been, I was a teenage mother. And so a lot of times when we have all of that pain and shame, we bring that with us. And that's a hindrance sometimes in business because we're bringing all of that baggage. So sometimes it's not even a reality that maybe we don't have that circle of safe people or some of those other things, but it's because women sometimes are not allowed to have that safe space to just let go that baggage.
Yes.
So when I brought about Brave Faith, when I introduced it initially, I said, Brave Faith is Jabari Imani. Jabari Imani is my second son because I aborted my first. So in my first son that I aborted when I was 7 months pregnant, I had an abortion. I carried that for so long. I carried the shame of that, the disappointment, the pain, the trauma, all of that, right? So as I got into business, I knew who my why was. It was other people that were the underdogs, the other people that looked just like me, the other people that carried that shame and that disappointment and all of that stuff, right? So it was for them to say, hey, you know what? You can have all of that and you still can show up. You still can live in purpose. You still can have an impact. There's people waiting for you to show up. And so that's just kind of, where Brave Faith came from. But in business, if women hear anything from me today, I just want you to know that, listen, drop that shame because we are greater. Like we're greater than any of that stuff that we're carrying, right? I love what you said about that was all a seed because all of those are seeds, but they were necessary seeds that I know that I needed to go through so that as I walk into my impact and the women and the men and the children that are going to encounter me and impact, they needed all of that I brought with me.
Yes, they do.
And so now as I, just figure my way out in business, then, and that's a whole nother story. So I'm going to just, because I got a whole lot of resilience stories in business, a whole lot of struggle. So that's why I said that I'm like the lone shark in the room or the black sheep, whatever you want to go. Because I haven't gotten to that point yet. Like I'm still striving because I'm breaking out of all of that shame. It's shaking off me. You understand? All that's coming off. So now I'm able to finally see like that true purpose in business and how he's, want to grow it in me and how I'm going to have impact on other people.
Ooh, you know what?
Oh my God.
I'm listening, right? And so I told y'all better stay tuned. This series. I'm listening, and I was told, a couple of decades ago when I was real super young and going to all the TD Jakes conferences, right? Go to these conferences and you get confronted with all the older women because it's a lot of older women at conferences, right? And so one conference, I was particularly spiritually inundated, and I took my boots off and gave it to a lady who said she liked my boots because when you hyper spiritual, you giving everybody everything. You like this right here, you prostrate, right? Right.
Oh my God.
But the lady spoke to me and she said, "Baby, you are not an underdog. I want you to remove the spirit of the underdog from you."
Oh my God.
And what I have come to realize is that the spirit of the underdog, right? Because the underdog is Scrappy. Remember Scrappy off of when the show was Scooby-Doo? He was always fighting. Always fighting everybody. I mean, he was not Scrappy. Yeah. And what we do is we come into these industries emotionally traumatized by life. And we fighting stuff and we fighting things that don't require us to be smooth. Right? We just need to be performing. And so when you talk about getting the generation and the testimony of women, that's so powerful because there's a lot of scrappies out there. It's a lot of scrappies, and they don't mean to be scrappy. It's just that they're fighting for more than just business. They're fighting for identity. They're fighting for worthiness. And so when we talk about women in business, we're talking, this is not a, scale your business, get the money, franchise. No, this is not a boilerplate ink conversation. This is an emotional, legacy, personal conversation, right? And so as we're looking at this pastor, because both of us shaking our head, right? I'm writing notes. And y'all already, I want you to share a time. We ain't taking no breaks today, y'all. Here we go. Share a time when you had a situation, just one, because I know I could think of like 9, right? But share a time, a situation when you found yourself in trouble. And just talk about just some steps that you took to get out of that trouble. Everybody go first. Anybody go first?
Well, I know for me, I can say this. There was a time when I created something. I created a program, designed it, everything. And I partnered with an entity. And from that place, I had to submit everything to that entity because the funding sources was going through this entity.
Okay.
So I submitted it. And my life, they made my life miserable until I had to walk away from my own vision.
What?
Everything. Leave my income, walk away, period, nothing. 0. And when I say within months, God gave it back to me more than what I left. So I'm telling you, this thing was devastating. That was my baby. And I had to walk away from it. But I realized that one thing about going through trouble, it's a part of the process. And a lot of people will tell you to trust the process. No. You can't trust no process. That thing look crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Stuff falling down around you. People are acting weird. I can't trust that. But trust the God of the process.
The God of the process.
Trust the God of the process. And if you can do that, you can stay sane through whatever it is that you're going through. So I'm telling you, that was very scary.
What did you do in those months before the Lord restored you?
Literally cried.
Prayed.
That's real.
What time for crying, y'all? What time?
Prayed. I really had to take time for myself because that situation really triggered me with some wounds that I've had from a little girl, just feelings of abandonment and I don't fit, and people taking things away, some personal things. So it showed me some areas where I still needed to be healed. So that was a plus. That was a plus. So I was like, you know what? That thing pushed me to say, you are good enough. You can do this on your own. Why do you continue to look for some people to validate you? And Christy, maybe I think it was at the prayer breakfast. You have no idea. You looked me in my eye and said, "You can do it." You have no idea what you said to me. Like literally was speaking life, because I was just like, this thing hadn't been long ago. This thing's still pretty fresh, and so you really, when you kept saying that, and then I started feeling the same thing that Robin talked about, just the insecurities and people, I felt like I didn't belong, and all of these things just coming up, and I'm like, God has shown me too much, in my life, and I mentioned He has shown me some stuff that He brought me out of some stuff worse than this. Why are you feeling like that? Because I needed, there was some residue. I was too busy babysitting other people's insecurities and their traumas, and at the same time they were triggering mine. I'm thinking, because you're in ministry, you have a heart, you just gonna babysit and you just listen to their trauma. Sometimes people you need to be poured into. And so while I'm catering to their traumas, they were triggering mine. And I'm telling you, it was a time I just needed some rest. I needed to be restored internally, and that's what happened. And I had people around me, my family, my husband, my Pastor James. Like he was there to just say, "Nikki, come on." He would not Pastor James won't let you get comfortable. He'll put you to work. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But that was needed. The people in which I needed around me, I pulled them close, and the ones that I did not need, I had to literally, I hate to use the word cut off, but I had to, because my life depended on it. So I had to make some changes with the people that were around me, the takers.
Woo! Listen to me. This is a series. I just want to drop that in y'all's spirit. All right? Because you said so many things. I ain't gonna, come on. I'm gonna say this for like the last 10 minutes, all right?
I'll build on the takers. Because I remember a time, and I was like, which story am I going to tell, Lord? Which direction you want me to go in? I think I'm going in this direction. If it's shifts, y'all flow with me. But I remember a time I had started experiencing some movement in the business, and I connected with some other women in business that were to mentor me and were going to help me, and it sound good. We were working and doing things, and things start happening, and God was giving me warning signs. Right. But I was like, this mentor, and I'm all in, right? Because I'm like, we moving in this business thing, and I see things happening, and I'm like, okay. And God is like, I go to my village, and they praying, and they like, we excited for you. And I'm like, okay, but God is waking me up in the middle of the night, and things are happening, and I'm going along with the flow, because in my heart, I want to believe that, you want the best for me, and that we're of the same cloth, and we praying together, and we speaking word together, and things of that nature in our conversations. So we have to be on the same vein. And I will never forget, I woke up, God woke me up at around 3 a.m, and it was a get up immediately, and I heard stop. Stop everything you do, cut it off. And long story short, they ended up stealing a lot of money from me.
Wait a minute!
A lot of money. And I was signing my name on the dotted line for a lot of things that God was like, cut it off immediately. And So when we talk about resiliency, when we talk about being true, and they had tapped into those insecurities that I had, right? That I needed a mentor in this area. I needed someone to help guide me and show me, along the way and how to get it done. And so they tapped into that, and I was vulnerable. Right?
Yes.
And God was saying, I gave you the vision.
Yes.
This wasn't a conference call.
It wasn't what you said.
This was not a conference call.
It wasn't for me.
Okay. This was you. They literally come to rob and steal and kill the vision.
Come on,
and to take it over. And God had to say, no. Now you got to make a decision. Either you're going to trust that I'm going to do this in you and through you, or you give it away.
Wow.
And I had to make a decision that, okay, Princess, I'm going to bet on me.
Yes.
Win, lose, draw, whatever. I'm going to bet on me, because that was the most expensive life lesson.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
That was,
right.
I say that life will give you the test first and then teach you the lesson. It's always in retrospect that you be like, well, if you just told me you didn't want me to do that, you didn't have to take me through that. I would, but it doesn't happen that way. And so God, I felt like, was saying, Princess, either you're going to trust what I put in you. You're going to trust how I see you and what I call you. Because if you don't, you're not going to survive.
Come on now.
Wow.
Because this is a symbol of one person, but in every facet, every level I'm going to take you to, there are going to be people out there that are going to attach to you, because they see the anointing and the vision, and they see what God has placed on your life. And if you don't guard it and protect it, they're going to be able to steal it from you. And so I realized then that, hey, okay, I got to do this afraid, with all my insecurities, with but I don't have this, but I look like this, but I've never seen this. I got to do it in spite of all of that and keep moving. And it's
Look at you now.
Look at yes. Hopefully you're watching today. I'm still standing. Watching and listening. I'm still standing, but to God be the glory.
To God be the glory. And to our 15,000 listeners that's hearing this testimony.
Right.
Listen to me. We are having a conversation about business.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
We're not having a prayer meeting. This is a conversation about business. Do you see how spiritual this conversation is? It's not spiritual or emotional like this for any other sector or any other demographic representation that exists. For us, this thing is generational. It's emotional. It's everything. It stirs up everything. And so when y'all listening, I just want to make sure y'all know this ain't a prayer meeting. We're talking about women in business.
Jesus.
Come on, Robin.
Listen. Honey, she done been slayed and she's it is so crazy, because I have the exact same story and I was gonna share it. But I'm gonna share something different now, because we got the same story. And all of us at the table have the same story. And some of the details may be a little different, right? But the story is still the same. And there's so much power in that when we get together and bring those stories together on how to transform. But one way, what am I sharing now, Christy? Because she doesn't just.
Well, I think you need to share yours, but pull out some other points, because I think that's important, because the things that people tell us to do, and we do, and then we get exposed to the vulnerabilities of people that don't have our best interests, right? Oh, excuse me, y'all. We're talking about business, right? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I'll share that, and I'll share, because literally mine just resolved today.
Yes,
resolve. That's the word. Resolve.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'll share in those moments. I had the vision, and I brought the vision to the table. The vision that I've worked on since the Lord gave me that in my car. I was listening to what's the lady name? She's a white lady. She's an evangelist.
Not Myers.
Joyce
Joyce
Myers.
Myers.
Joyce Myers. I was listening to Joyce Myers, and the Lord gave me the word power up. He said there's power in your tongue, it's power in your words, and power in your life. So that's how I came up with power up.
What?
And so I had power up, and it was really to be able to empower people in, you know, all different types of areas, right? And so I partnered with someone. I hope you listen. And so I partnered with someone, and I brought all of that to the table, right? And this person pretty much, you know, I was vulnerable because it was some things that I thought that I couldn't do. So when I said, hey, you know what, you focus on that part because that's your strong area, and I'm gonna focus on this part because this is my strong area. And I'll tell you that I've lost tens of thousands of dollars in time. It put a huge strain on my marriage. My other relationships, some people in the community won't even deal with me because I was connected to that person that they had bad relations with. Okay. So I tell you, when I say it resolved today, we had started purchasing property together, you know, just all type of stuff. We closed on our last one the day that I was able to buy that person out. So when I say today, when you called, and I was like, okay, Lord.
It's a shift, right?
Yeah, it's the shift.
God.
But in that, what I want women to take away is one thing is that you can do it yourself.
You can.
Like if the Lord gave you the vision to do something, all of that always needed to be validated, or if somebody has something that's stronger than you think. It's okay. That means stretch yourself, learn, grow, research, study, connect with different people. You know, and that was my fear of wanting to like really focus on the things that I was weak at. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to go in what I knew I was strong at. But and the Lord had the same conversation with me. He was like, "Oh, okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, I'm gonna watch it." Okay, and so I end up having to give that name up because we joined, and he said that name's now belong to me. This is what my ex-partner said. And everything that you built, that's now mine. And I struggled with that thing. I struggled so bad. And that's why I said, you know what? It's okay. And that's how Brave Faith read it. Because one, I had to be brave in that. That's something that the Lord planted in me way back in 1997.
Come on.
And then I had to have faith that, Lord, you gave me that. But you also got something greater for me.
That's it.
And I'm so busy trying to hold on to this thing over here because this was my baby for so long. And the Lord said, it's okay. It's okay. Let it go.
Let that
go.
That's only one dimension of the whole that He has for you.
Exactly. And so we got to be okay with knowing that we got seasons.
Right?
And He will move you through those seasons. But what I had to stop myself was, Robin, what did you take away from that season?
Yes.
Because when you say we should get a test one time, right? Oh, I done repeated plenty of tests. Literally, I had to stop myself and say, okay, Robin, what did you get out of that? Like, is He moving you from one dimension to the next dimension? But in those times when I was losing all that money, and I'm telling you, financially, they gave me a blow. Like, they gave me a huge blow. Because I walked away from other things that were producing financially for me to work on this vision with this person, right? And so I took a huge financial blow. I mean, women, I'm telling you, be okay with, I turned into Scrappy again.
Yes, you did.
You know what I'm saying?
Scrappy always there.
Scrappy always there. And so I've had to make adjustments, right? It allowed me to look around and say, okay, what don't you need?
Yes.
Like, what can you live without?
Yes.
Because I got to come up with some money.
Exactly.
So you're talking about being undercapitalized. Listen, I got to come up with some money now. So now it's pushing me to be more resourceful. So I'm like, okay, I got some stuff I can sell. Okay, well, I got to cut back right here. Okay, well, I got to start negotiating.
Yes.
I got to start, so other skills started refining themselves.
That's right.
And it made me start to really look at my finances. And so you always be talking about your finances, but you need to dig back in, because you kind of had got away from that because it went all that. You was a little more comfortable when you felt like you had to do that. But when you get into the moments and you got to start getting scrappy again, I'm talking about the yard sale. What else, honey, we was doing? My daughter right here, 14. She got her own business. I'm out here hustling with her, buying candy, popcorn, whatever we got to do. Like, all that's coming to the house because Mama done got us in a situation. And so it's okay if you have a situation like that. Like, just it makes you become more resourceful.
Yes, it
It
does.
makes you pay more attention to the things that you need to do, and don't be ashamed of the story.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Don't be ashamed of it. So that's what I wanted to share.
Honey, let me tell y'all something.
Yeah.
If you just tuned in,
Yeah.
we talking about business, all right? We are
Yeah.
talking, and what's amazing me, right, Pastor Nikki, is how emotional this is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because we ain't like folk that just go to a bank. This is the secret sauce. You buy the franchise. This how much the building costs. This how much you need to spend in marketing. Add milk and stir enterprise, right?
Yeah.
This is purpose, vision, given.
Yes.
Strategies downloaded.
Yes.
You activating, most of the times you can't get no capital. So you start out undercapitalized.
Yeah.
There you go.
Come on now.
There
Come on
you
now. Are you starting out with the money you need to do what you do? To do what you do.
Right.
No, you ain't. So you starting out and mostly on your credit, not on your credit,
your credit.
not the business credit, your credit.
Your credit.
All right? And you trying to get me. We're talking about business. All right, we're talking about business today. And then when we go into women in business, I shared a statistic earlier that said that Black women are killing the entrepreneurial space. We represent in the business universe more percentage-wise than any demographic. Why? Because we got mothers that are raising children by themselves. They are trying to find something economically sufficient to be able to raise their kids. They're being underpaid in these jobs, right?
Absolutely.
And braiding hair with blue magic grease on the weekend ain't cutting it, right? They're trying to find a way. And so this stuff is emotional for us.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Yes.
Listen, this is a whole series, and it's 153. All right, and I want to close our conversation today because I have here some pathways to restoration and resilience. And y'all gave a lot of those as you spoke. Whew, yeah, it's so much. I feel like I got like a weight, like a press on my chest right here. But what are some pathways? Well, now if I ask that, we're gonna be here all day. Let me ask this one. What are the lessons we need to learn once we escape seasons of trial? Or why do some business owners continue to experience chronic trouble?
Well, I'll say one is because you haven't learned to trust yourself,
Yes.
and you haven't learned the lessons from the last season.
Lessons from the last season.
So if you're going in a cycle, it's because you haven't learned the lesson to graduate to the next season. So it's important, right, to take inventory
Yes.
of what you're going, why do I continue to experience this at the same time? Am I speaking negative over my life? Am I speaking negative over my situation? Am I not taking the time to study and learn this new industry or this new, where I'm going? What am I not doing? Right? That's causing me to repeat this cycle. And really take inventory and focus on that. So then when it comes again, you can recognize it. Because every season, there are triggers, right? You can see certain things lining up. If you when you look at all our stories, you can say, oh, when this happened, that led to this.
Right.
Okay. So when you start experiencing that, it should be like, pause,
Right.
wait a minute. All right, let me do something different this time. And if you're not doing that, if you're not able to recognize it, that means you haven't learned. And so it's important that we take inventory and that we learn the lessons from when we take the test. We failed that time, but when it come back again,
Yes, right.
oh yeah, I'll give me a pop quiz. So
Right.
I can do it differently. I can know how I'm gonna respond.
Right.
So when the test comes, I'll be ready. Right? We have to do that because if not, you will never be able to break those cycles. And because of that, you won't be able to elevate. So that's
good.
You better say that. You said all of it. And listen, you just spoke a title into the existence, lessons from the last season.
That's it.
Yes.
Amen.
Woo.
Yeah.
The lessons.
The lessons from the last season. Amen. Why, Robert, do you think that people find themselves in chronic? Because there are some folks that find themselves in trouble all the time. Like,
Yeah.
All of the time. I know we have, look, but Sunday, if you're in a cycle, you gotta please stop. Just stop. Okay, just stop. I mean, you just don't keep doing it. You just have to stop.
Stop yourself.
You have to.
number 2 to someone else's 20.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Now that's a good one.
That's
Yeah, because what happens is you want to try to skip steps.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yes.
so focused on what your sister next to you doing, or they don't know your story, all
Right.
that you done been through. They looking
Right.
at the Dr. Nikki now.
Exactly.
So they want to skip steps and do shortcuts and all of that. And
Ooh,
you find yourself in a situation,
in a
in a
situation.
cycle, a
Mhm.
chronic cycle.
Yes, ma'am.
When you start, cutting them steps out, because all of that stuff is something that you need
You need it.
at every step. And if you didn't get it at 1, and now when you get to 4, you need what you should have learned at 2. But you're trying to compete with Dr. Nikki because she at 20.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Then you got a situation.
Yeah.
That's
You don't
it.
even
Your
have the
foundation
anointing
is
to
different.
hold up to
That's
that
it.
because I had to pay for this.
That's
You ain't
right.
even have to pay
Yeah.
the price.
That's what I'm talking
You
about.
paid the price.
Yeah,
that's
And
right.
so
Yes.
that's why it's good to wait your turn. Just walk through it. Embrace the process and
Yes.
trust God. through
Yes,
it.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Indeed.
And I'm hardly ever speechless, yeah. Ever.
Christy, forever.
Listen, when the Lord brought this shift, I had no idea. I had
Wow.
no idea why. And I didn't know who. But I tell you, today, I know the how and the who, right? And it's so important that you have established platform, right? And you have established process. Because then when the Lord shifts you, you know how to make that shift fit into the process and the platform you have. And so I just want to say, y'all just done did the thing today. This is really Dr. Nick, and you have dealt with and mentored hundreds of women, all right? Hundreds of women. And we all know that this is super emotional. But it's so interesting how in other cultures people can compartmentalize things, right? They can say, "Oh, this is business," and it can be real, like clean, cut and dry, and this is my personal, right? And they may be going through straight situationship with trouble on the personal side, but with business, it's cut clean.
Right.
But for us, that is not the case.
It bleeds together.
It-
It will. Our emotional health is so important. Our
Mhm.
spiritual health, that's just who we are as a people.
Yeah.
Like we just, oh God. And sometimes most of the time it's good, but sometimes we got to put that hat on and say, you know what? I'm not allowing this to come in between my money no more. Okay? All right. Look now, you get it right, girl. You talk to yourself. Get it right. Because bump this.
Girl, that was good right there. Bump this.
That's how we used to say.
Bump them people.
Now we gotta come on. Let's get it together. Get your emotions out of the way and get yourself together and go get your money.
That's it.
Rebuild your life. Come on now, you can do it. Go to
Reclaim your
therapy if
time.
you need it. Yes. Reclaim your time.
Yeah.
That's right.
But for real,
For
we
real.
have to do that. We have to do what it takes for us to be healthy on the inside because it does affect the way that we operate our businesses. It just touches everything. Our ministries, it touches everything. So this is a great conversation because it went deeper than just business. And I think a lot of women needed to hear this because a lot of people want to just jump out there in business. But are you well?
Are you emotional?
Are you emotionally well enough to build this business, to start this business? That's where it starts. That's the business plan. You need to put that up there before you write the business plan. Go to therapy or something, whatever you need. That might be the need. Right.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna tell you, it's 2:00, and before people start giving me the side eye from the control panel, I am going to say this. This is the beginning of this conversation. This is a very deep conversation for us, and sometimes we need to have conversations for us. We need to recognize that we carry so much, not just the stuff that we bring in the baggage that we bring through our experiences, but expectations. We carry so much. We're trying to bring in alignment everything and be seen in a certain way to help build our success. But sometimes we need to break it down so that we can build something that's not on a faulty foundation. And so today's topic, first of all, thank you, wonderful ministers. Some of y'all need to be deacon and minister and reverend and itinerant. Y'all, I mean, but you will be amazed. Dr. Nikki, you said something earlier. You said God gives us community.
Yes.
God gives us community. Now we're not perfect. We fail. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're not equal to the task at sometimes. But God gives us community, not to just have a base to fall on, but to give us a platform to be restored. And so that's what we hope as we move forward in this conversation and in space. If you're interested in joining this conversation, this movement, come on through. Because I hope that every listener that heard this here's two things. First of all, you are worthy.
Yes.
And second of all, you are capable.
Yes.
But let's get ourselves emotionally healthy so we can deal with the conversation and the trouble at hand.
Yes.
Get some sleep.
Absolutely.
Go to bed.
Rest.
Get some rest. Drink some water. Do that.
Yes.
All right? And let's move forward because
Yes.
you are gifted and you have talent and you have all this stuff, all this awareness, all this treasure in earthen vessels.
Come on.
It's time for us to get healthy emotionally.
Yes.
I thank you all so much for being on Conscious. I hope that we've honored women today.
Yes.
I know we have. I honor
Absolutely.
every single one of y'all that came on a dime on the shift, but I know this was the Lord. And so may the blessing of the Lord be upon each of you listeners. Conscious Check airs every second Monday. We will have an additional airing at the last Wednesday. Where am I at? I need to get back in the spirit. We air every second Wednesday of the month. We'll have an extra broadcast because we have a fifth Wednesday this month. We'll have an extra broadcast at the end of this month. We'll make sure we let you all know. Check us out on Facebook, social media, and we look forward to you continuing the conversation. God bless you. This is Conscious Check with Christy Henry on the Greg James Community Show platform. We'll see you next time. Y'all,
Christy, girl,
y'all,
this
y'all.
was amazing. I enjoyed it.
Likewise.
Listen, I didn't know. I had notes. Chair.
No, look at anointing.
I'm such a planner at heart. I had my little notes. I was like, oh, this don't fit with none of my notes. Okay. And then we started talking. I was like, oh, this is.
This is Jesus.
This was on the
And y'all, 16, 17 viewers, 11 viewers, y'all a bad bunch out there. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for the positive. Do we have some questions on that we can ask? Okay, let's see what we got. You can't pass. I can't see. Let's see. Ooh, it's a lot. Okay, we're going to have to go back and look at all these comments.
You
You want me to just read them all? Because some of them not.
Okay, just say hey to them. Yeah, they were just commenting and supporting. Listen, ladies, we are so glad that y'all tuned in, and gentlemen, that y'all tuned in today. We look forward to continuing this series. We are going to hold ourselves accountable and covenant with one another to continue this conversation and to uplift and bless women who are in business and maybe in trouble, but they are overcoming in Jesus' name. And so keep praying for your local business. As you support your local business, as you support your local professional service provider, pray for them.
Yes.
Pray for their prosperity. Pray for their wisdom.
Yes.
Pray for their guidance. Pray that they get capital sent their way.
Yes.
Pray for investment where it's necessary.
Yes.
Pray for their success earnestly. And we will see our community's economy improve tremendously. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next month. Well, actually, the end of this month, but it'll be kind of next month.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. We'll end this here. And broadcast up there. There we go.